be able to understand Uganda better, but also improve on the way you understand matters of national importance, and also how you can participate and contribute to the development of this country. Youth of Purpose is a show sponsored by the National Secretariat for Patriotism Corps Office of the President under the theme Uganda First. We look at the things that can help us to put Uganda first in all that we do. The interests of Uganda. What can you do as a young person to make sure that you're putting a brick to the development of this nation? Now today we are talking about a very interesting topic: youth engagement in agriculture. For long we've always been lamenting about agriculture being the backbone of this country. What are we doing to make sure that this backbone is maintained, sustained, as us as young people, the generation that is coming, will be able to keep putting a brick to this? I have a very able team of young people here who are going to be telling us how you can be able to benefit from agriculture, but again, are they having an opportunity as young people to engage fully in this sector? Hello guys.
Thank you, Ivan. My name is Wizeye Seth Ruta from Ankole Young Farmers Association as a team leader, and I'm happy to be on this show today to share more about youth in agriculture.
My name is Msime Jonan from Mackay University, an agriculture student and a farmer.
Thank you so much, guys. So basically, it's good that all of you are practitioners in the agriculture sector. What is happening as far as engaging the young people, the youth, in agriculture? First, paint for us a picture. Starting with you, Seth.
Thank you, Ivan. For the young people in Uganda, as it has always been said, we are the biggest population, but we've ignored agriculture. The picture that has been painted is that it's a dirty job, which is not true. Agriculture is not as dirty as it is portrayed. That's because of the branding. But agriculture is something which is very profitable, but it's not a get-rich-quick gain. It's you have to be strategic. You have to look at it as a business. There are losses, there are profits, and you have to have a plan. You have to have a strategy of how you succeed, and also knowledge.
I'll be coming back to you. Seth, you are very young people, like we can see. What makes you get interested into venturing into agriculture, which most of the young people are shunning away from?
I've grown up in a family where I've been practicing agriculture. My phase from childhood has been from agriculture, growing crops and rearing animals. So far now, we've at least improved. As the Operation Waste Creation and NADS program, we've at least reached a certain extent where we've grown up from what we've been producing to a certain level. Because for example now, doing piggery, cattle rearing, then coffee growing, poultry and rabbitry. And I've at least gained much from this. This is where my tuition comes from. This is where I eat from. This is where my rent comes from. And this is where the tuition of my sibling also comes from. So I'm encouraging all the young people to join agriculture, join trainings in agriculture, for example in FAO, in the Ministry of Agriculture, Animal and Industry, to get engaged, join associations to at least be on a certain level.
Those are a lot of agriculture activities that you do, you're carrying out.
Yes,
where do you get the support? Where do you get the capacity to be able to carry all that? Talk about getting the land, financial services. How are you able to put all that together at your young age?
A lot of money, but it starts with you as a person. Your perception, what do you have in head? Where do you think agriculture should take you? First of all, for me, I was at least somehow lucky that my parents had some land, but I also had an interest in agriculture. This is why I've told you I'm also doing agriculture right now. So I've tried out agriculture from childhood. So I sat down with my parent. I told him at least I need to do some agriculture. He said, can I get you a loan? Are you able to pay it? I said, yes. So this father of mine went to a certain bank, brought me money. It was 100 M, where I had land. Of course, it was his, not mine. I ventured in bull fattening. We bought 100 bulls at 100 M. reared them for 6 months. After 6 months, I sold the bulls. So I was able to pay back the loan. But paying back the loan, it's not that I paid it myself. My dad kept on paying the loan, though after selling all the bulls after the age of 6 months, at the month of 6 months, I did what? I gave him the whole money. So from that, I got my own capital. I started out my own business. I started out poultry at a low rate. Then I started out some piggery. Also, to some extent, I did some coffee, though it was about only 1 acre.
Yes.
But now I've grown up to 2 acres where I'm producing much coffee, which is Kirin. I'm actually even selling it more than other farmers who are in Uganda district. So I'm encouraging young men. Don't
You
think
see, when you talk about an investment of around 100 million,
Yes.
A young person there who doesn't even get 100,000 a month, it's like, where can I even get started from? Coming to you, Saif, is there possible someone can be able to invest in agriculture, starting small with the list that they do have, as you also take us through the projects that you do in agriculture?
With just 100,000, you can venture into poultry, for instance. The local birds, each of them will cost you, when they're chicks, about 10,000. So if you have to give it 6 months, you would be far using the natural methods of production, and you would grow through the process. Yeah, but also we are looking at sustainable agriculture, as he said from the start. If you're looking at someone starting with 1 cow when you're 20, probably by the time you're using the multiplying factor of a cow each year, you may not be able to make it in life due to the many demands. So us as the Ankole Young Farmers Association, we came together and said, no, let's come together and put resources, let everyone bring the little they have, and we do joint investments. You have a passion for farming, you gain knowledge. So from that, we'll be able to share resources. For instance, we have young people whose parents have given them land, but someone has no money to, buy cattle. We say, no, 10 people come together, each of you buys a cow, you put it at this person's land. So at the end of it all, you're all benefiting. This person has maybe 2 there, you contribute to the bills, the other 8 have also come in, and you're able to share the costs and go further. In farming, if you're not planning to go big, you're likely to be kicked out of business. That's the truth. Yeah. So, and growing big has to do with working in numbers when you're starting. Later on, when you're able to raise your own capital, as he said, like through his process and many other ways, you can go on your own and have your own farm. But for the start, young people need to work together. We need to work together to find solutions to challenges that affect us as farmers.
Perfect. Getting to you from there, what are those big hindrances that are stopping young people from participating and engaging in agriculture?
As an association, we've interacted with a couple of them, and the main thing is always capital. That's in terms of inputs. When they mention capital, they mean inputs. The second thing is finances. Finances, with the working capital of the business. And also, the third element is always market. But all these are not big challenges. They are challenges when you're working alone. But imagine, like for us and us as an association, we have gotten deals where people want supplies of about 50,000 goods.
Wow.
But if it comes to us and we have members, they are able to supply this market. So you have 1 goat, the other one has 10, the other one has 5, then we have a standard price. Yeah. But if it is you as an individual, you are not able to gain such market share as an individual. So that's one way. You're looking at finances. We've already talked about capital venture pool, where people come together, bring resources, and do joint investments. Other than everyone having 2 birds, 3, 4, 7, it doesn't make sense. Let's come together, have 10,000. You make much more sense.
True.
And finally, when you're looking at things like inputs, as an association, we have a platform. We're able to engage policymakers, we're able to engage programs like Operation Wealth Creation, and we tell them, no, look here, all banks, this is who we are. We are unique in this way. We need you to work with us in this way. As an individual, you're likely to be frustrated by the system, but if we go with one voice, we are likely to have results. Thank you.
Thank you. Jonan, what are some of the challenges that you have so far faced as far as practicing agriculture is concerned?
First of all, as he has said, it's market. For the case of market was limited, though it's limited when you're not exposed, like as he has told you, when you're one. But when you're an association, maybe a group, take an example in Uganda right now, after the presidential address in Mbarara, when he said, for the case of youth, you don't need to sit down and just speak English. You need to start out something in your villages. Do something. Don't run for Kampala. Don't run for Mbarara. Stay in your villages. Do something. As Uganda, the guy sat down with the secretary of NRM. They tried out beekeeping. Wow. When beekeeping was started out, now they are on the stage of processing. They are processing their own honey. And this honey is earning very much income, earning much income to the what? To the students. Actually, not even students, even to the youth of the Uganda district. Secondly, after the case of market, we are having diseases. For the case of diseases, this one is brought about by maybe raw extension work. For the extension work, it's really limited. Actually, I was really disturbed when I thought the government opening up these medical students, leaving out agricultural students. I thought agriculture would be the priority first, because when they closed out everything, agriculture was left on board. Oh, yeah. So I thought they would ask first, permit the agricultural students to open, then do secondly the medical students, because we also need them as health. Wow,
that's a good point. Yes.
Yeah? So the next thing, it was funds. As I've told you, for my case, I was able to get capital from my dad as a loan, but that one does not apply to everyone. Oh, yeah. Take an example of someone who had no land. If we had no land at home, they would not even have access to capital. Yes. But for the sense they are doing this, you're doing a bachelor's degree, you're on a degree, you're now doing agriculture. Yeah? You're in farm. When the ministry comes home, when it's this operation, these guys come from this side, from Kampala. They find me home in shorts. Oh yeah. They find me in boots with cow dung or with whatever. Yeah. He's asking me. One person from the ministry actually never knew that I was the owner. Wow. He thought I was a worker. He said, hey, amazing. How much will they pay you? Wow. I surprised the guy. I said, I'm the owner. He's sure, yes. I told him I'm the owner. Yes. So he said, hey, let me have a look at your records. I actually explained to him each and everything. The minister was able, through Operation West Creation, say, we have given you another.
Right on that point, yes. I would like us to get to understand and find a solution on how we can break the myth about agriculture and focusing on the young people. The way they look at agriculture, how can we be able to break the myth that it's for people who have probably failed in education, or for people who don't have money?
For the case of this, first of all, it's through trainings. Last June we had a training in campaign registered by the ministry and FAO. Actually, I even learned a lot about record keeping and even changing my perception about agriculture. I was doing agriculture because it was my backbone. But after they at least tried doing agriculture as a business. So I'm now earning from agriculture. First of all, it's about training, then increasing the extension work. After increasing the extension work, probably mostly in the villages, because when we talk around Kampala, most of them, they are doing market gardening. Market gardening, which does not apply in the villages. People in the villages, they need extension workers to teach them, to give them skills. Take an example, when I'm talking, I give an example of my district, So the cow just of recent arranged a program where all extension workers in every sub-county have to join together, visit one farm 2 times in one sub-county, give him a lot of skills, give him advice, get pangas go in his banana plantation, get pangas go in his coffee plantations, get needles and whatever, go in his farm, teach him, show him how we should be doing things. I think through these trainings and mostly engaging the youth, as you've seen, the government now is mostly engaging the youth. The yoga funds were taken, maybe other things and whatever. Most youth were not engaged. But now we are having the parish development plans.
Oh yes.
This is now going to mostly engage the youth. I'm encouraging most of the youth to get engaged in this. Fight for this money. Of course, when it comes to your sub-account and you just sit at the youth, don't think they will bring money in your hands.
Thank you so much, Jonan. Coming to you, Seth, you head an association of young farmers in Ankole. Okay. How far has the government engaged you as young people in policy making and making sure that all the projects they are planning for the young people, you are stakeholders in this? And how much has the government initiatives helped you as young people to be able to engage fully in agriculture and improve your lives?
Okay, thank you, Mr. Ivan. With government things, first of all, as an association, to be true to you, we have not had much interaction with them. Apart from the district production office, they've tried to do several of our events. We've had agritourism, did the shows and all those other programs about dialogues.
Yeah.
At least attended and heard what we have to say. And of course promised, yeah, they have programs, we've interacted with them, but the issue is delivering on their promises. When you're working with government, you need to be a little bit more patient. But in that patience, we are working with young people. For instance, we've had promises of, okay, we'll give you land where you could do demonstration farm, we could give you all that. Yeah, but if you tell this to young people and the next year you've come back for an event and it's the same story, it loses meaning. That's the truth. Yeah. But also in policy, I don't think there are platforms for us as farmers to say who we are. They don't exist. We create them and actually say problems to ourselves, find solutions. We've not had a platform other than the past International Youth Day, maybe the international events where we've had a theme about agriculture and we've had platforms to share, but we've not had much with the government. But also they have nice programs like OWC and all NADS, under NADS and all the other programs. But looking at the mode of those programs, it does not suit the unique needs of a young farmer. That's the truth. They need to come together and work with us. We need to come to an understanding that young people are very unique in the way they do things. You have to have programs where you mentor young people. For instance, I've had friends where they've been given a cow, one cow, and this person has no land because he has a few connections, he has a cow, and it's being grazed on the roadside. It does not make sense.
Oh, yes.
This is one cow, and from the story what I heard, it ended up dying. I mean, this was wrong because, first of all, this is not a farmer, dairy farmer.
Yes.
He's just heard of a government program that there are resources. He knows a few people in the system. He's gotten the cow. But this is not how the young people should be worked with. In my view, or us as an association, we think we should have mentorship programs. We have 3 phases. We have the farm level. From the farm level, you have the right produce. You go to the distributors. From the distributors, then you look at who processes this food. From processing, then you're looking at agri-tech. This is the whole system depends on technology. We want to introduce it, but in a way that you start with the people producing, walk with them a journey, teach them how to do it right, then support them. But you don't come with 100 cows and throw them at young people. You're likely to get wrong results because they don't know what they are doing. They are likely to do the same things they've seen their parents do, which may not be appropriate for a business. Today we have to look at farming as a business, period. If you're not looking at it as a business and it's leisure, you're likely to, lose it. You won't make any money out of it. There are several of them who are there, but they are not benefiting. They're saying agriculture, there is no money, there is nothing. But money is there, but they are not looking at it in a business way. So all these programs that come, they are good, but we need to see it and look at the unique needs of Ankole as a region. Who are the young people? What do they need exactly? But you don't bring a tailored thing, and you throw it at everyone, the old, the young. We have unique needs. And
basically, the opportunities that will be in the north or in the central might not be the same opportunities in agriculture that in the west.
True.
And therefore, as young people who are engaged in agriculture have to be stakeholders and engaged as far as these programs, projects are being planned by the government. Coming to you, Jonan, how can agriculture be made interesting and encouraging for the young people to also be able to participate and invest in? Basically looking at the sectors that the young people so much are engaged in today. You look at entertainment, fashion, and the rest. Why? Because they've so much been marketed and someone sees that as the best way to live. How can we make agriculture more interesting that a person can feel comfortable to go and slay in the garden?
For the case of agriculture, we are now talking about our age, the youth. First of all, we need more money. We need the government to allocate more money in agriculture, probably to the youth. Because when you say the government allocates more money, it has been allocating money to agriculture, but it has not been targeting the youth. So we think now the government can target the youth, encourage them more. That's why when actually after targeting the youth, it should not end up from the state, or should not end up from the ministry. It should go deep in the villages, because agriculture is practiced in villages. Increase extension workers. Let the programs of the government be introduced to the youth. Let them have more trainings in agriculture. Let them be mentored. Most of them, we have told them they have bad perception, and agriculture is now mostly engaged in by the youth, which are men, leaving out the females. What do they understand about this? When they talk about the agriculture, females think, agriculture is for men. Most of them think agriculture is all about digging. So when you talk about agriculture, when I was growing up, you were in high school, they talk, for you are taking agriculture, you're going to dig. You're going to Chambogo University, we are digging. You're going to Mackay University, you will dig. But I'm not in campus. I've never done getting a hole.
Yes.
I just start digging. I've never tried it out, and I've really learned much from it. And it's really helping me in my businesses. So I think more trainings in agriculture, allocating more money to the youth to practice agriculture, increasing extension workers, mostly in the villages, and following them. The government increases more extension workers, but each and every person is in his own work. Just stays in office, drives back home, comes back in the morning, not visiting each and every farmer in the villages.
Sure.
I think if they are followed out, if there is a channel for the money specifically for the youth, I think agriculture can now grow up.
Thank you so much, Jonan. Saith, what are you doing as an association to make sure that you help the young people so much engage in agriculture in an improved way, in a commercial way, not subsistence and the same way as our forefathers used to do?
Thank you, Ivan. In brief, our vision is to inspire and empower young agripreneurs. So one of the ways in which we inspire them is by, we have programs of mentorship with our partners. We work with the farmer. Our model of admission is different and unique. Identify a practical farmer, let them show interest, call for membership, they show interest, then take them through trainings. We train them about business plans, we help them do the business canvas models so that they understand what they are going into fully. So after them getting a knowledge of what they're going into fully, they are likely to be successful looking at it as a business. That's our main aim. We are here to empower the next generation of agripreneurs. Then lastly, also as an association, we look out for opportunities and platforms. We engage stakeholders like the state and other organizations that we work with to see that if there are opportunities, how can we lobby for our young people, for them to have, farming in a better way.
Thank you so much, Seth. I'll give each one of you only 20 seconds to have your few words as you encourage your fellow young people to do what you're doing and also engage in agriculture. Starting with you, Jonan.
Thank you very much. In my last words, I am encouraging all the youth to engage in agriculture, probably join trainings and get in contact with your district partners. Thank you. I encourage all the youth to do that. And after here, we hope for the better. We hope for the better from the ministry and the government. Thank you.
Safe?
Young people, farming is a business and you need to take it on the way it is, not as a leisure activity or a cultural practice. And I call upon all of you, if you have the capacity to be a farmer, this is the time, and start today. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Saith, and thank you so much, Jonan. Like you've heard, farming is not just a culture. Many of you might be doing farming. You're rearing cows basically because your parents were rearing cows. You're growing coffee basically because your grandfather, your father were growing coffee. It's a business and you have to commercialize it, and you have to commercialize it to make sure that it helps you to earn an income and come together as young people to be able to put together resources. Take an example, like he said, you want to do an investment of around 100 million. That will only need you 100 people, each contributing 1 million. That's just the classroom guys that you had in your high school. Putting them together and you're able to do an investment in agriculture that can be able to give you returns that you can never imagine. You go invest in Ponzi schemes and they promise you to give 50% returns. If you invested in agriculture with patience, with the skills and knowledge, you would be able to make that money. The money that you're going to sell your land, to go abroad looking for jobs, get that money, get your fellow guys, contribute together and start your own. This show is probably brought to you by the National Secretariat for Patriotism Call, Office of the President, here telling you that love Uganda and contribute to Uganda's development. My name is Ivan Tumukunde. See you next time.
Youth of Purpose, brought to you by Uganda First. You know, you could just buy a new smartphone from anywhere in Uganda. Dial *175 *94 hash to activate a 100% double data bonus offer on weekly or monthly bundles for 3 months. Better yet, you automatically receive free 1 GB valid for 30 days. You are hooked already, aren't you? Enjoy a 100% double data bonus from Airtel. Buy a smartphone from anywhere in Uganda and insert an Airtel SIM card. Dial *175 *94 hash to activate a 100% data bonus offer on weekly or monthly bundles, valid for 3 months. Dial *175 hash and select your preferred bundle to activate a 100% data bonus offer on weekly or monthly bundles, valid for 3 months. Airtel, the smartphone network.